From the center of the galaxy on a Friday, this is ForceCenter Now. ForceCenter, of course, is a show about Star Wars pop culture and the old adventure. Live itself, I'm Ken Knapsack.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw.
I apologize. Sometimes I get criticism for being too DJ-like. I just recorded my radio shift, so I am extra DJ-like today.
Ooga! Honk, honk, honk.
Yes. There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Friday show. Jennifer Landa, of course, sends her regards, and we're here to talk a little Star Wars horror because it is Friday the 13th, Joseph. That's a special day, yeah?
It is. It's so spooky. I like that it is mostly seems to become a holiday for people who love the franchise, Friday the 13th, which is great. Good for you to enjoy your holiday. I know that Valentine's always, comes after the 13th, but there's something about this mashup of like Friday the 13th followed immediately by Valentine's Day. So it is sort of like
that's
well, first be terrified of random circumstances that might get you, and then spend some time with your loved one.
I'm extra terrified. I have a show. I'm on a show Friday or Saturday, Valentine's Day in Santa Monica. If you're all local, come on out. The Big D dating comedy show. And I thought I signed up to be like one of the comics. I'm actually a bachelor, and I'm gonna be like auctioned. I don't know what's happening, and so this feels like my Friday the 13th.
Understandable. We did that in the comedy variety show that myself and a bunch of friends used to do, and we there was a relationship that formed out of it. A woman very, very aggressively, bid for our friend who didn't normally do a lot of dating and often made self-deprecating jokes. And this woman was like, "No, I'm serious," and I got money behind it. So yeah,
okay. My therapist has given me the task of playing a character who believes in himself at this event. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But hey, this show today is going to be built on your calls, your comments as well. If you got something, we did, it's a wide open topic. It's what is spooky, your favorite spooky thing in Star Wars, your favorite horror adjacent, horror related thing in Star Wars. It could be anything that terrified you as a kid or something that spooks you out a little bit now. And Joseph, you are the director of an upcoming feature film that is a horror film called Dead Media. So horror is very important to you. What's always been your relationship with Star Wars and horror together?
I think that there's always been, to my mind, scary moments. I know I've told this story before, but I remember being in Portland, Oregon in 1980, where we briefly lived, and my mom asking another mom on the sidewalk, what were there scary moments in Empire Strikes Back? And I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was about the Tauntaun, the claw in the Tauntaun's face. Yeah. And she was like, "A horse gets it."
A space horse gets it.
I think my mom's like, "Okay, well, how scary is it?" So to me, I always think of that is a horror jump scare.
Yes, it is.
Hey, the audience can all sense something is wrong, but the character can't yet sense it. With Luke's like, "Hey, what's wrong, buddy?" Whoosh. It's such a great jump scare. Yeah.
Terrified me. I mean, we'll discuss some of our favorites here, but yeah, that you're right. That is an underrated moment of terror in Star Wars.
Just a classic jump scare. Yeah, and then I think we've got a couple favorites that we go on about. But I think as I've gotten older, more into horror, I'm really interested in what kind of ideas do certain scenes pull from in horror. And I know it's one of your favorites, but the beginning of Rise of Skywalker is its own little horror movie with Kylo Ren stomping through the dark forest, murdering people, but then descending down into the depths of the Sith lair on Exegol with that phenomenal dry lightning sound effect. It's just, fingernails on a chalkboard is the sound of the planet. But the thing that I've always appreciated that it's this kind of combination of, dark magic and dark science. Very gothic. But the scene was really occurring to me recently. I read a great book called The Monster Show, which was written back in the 90s, but it's kind of a breakdown of American horror. And the argument that this author made David J. Skull, was that you could always see Dracula and Frankenstein in anything. You could always see the anxiety about science, and you could always see the anxiety about old, forgotten, deep truths like vampires. And watching that scene that is dark science and dark magic, it is such a combination of those classic Gothic turn of the century universal horror moods of the fear of science that isn't quite right and some ancient eldritch thing that knows impossible truths from the deep past that can't die, which is what Palpatine essentially is.
Everything about it, you're right, from the dry lightning sounds to the visual of the Snoke clones. We're all focused maybe on the lore at the first viewing of that, but just the bubbling weird science around all of that. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and Snoke's floating in Hammer horror-colored vats, the bright Technicolor. It's so great.
Yeah. No, it's a yeah. We'll move on from it. I guess we could do a full scene by scene on it as we have, didn't we? We did do a scene by scene on that, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah,
I think we did. Check it out, folks. I can't remember what we did. It's only been 12 years.
Evil Sith worker monkey, says Will Dixon. Yeah.
Yes.
Monkeys do.
Yes. Yeah. All that and just the like. I get it. We always do the nice. We're very polite people. We do the caveat. If you don't like Rise of Skywalker, we get it. And I get it. But I'm just saying, like you got Ian McDiarmid going, I've died before. Like what else do you want? What else do you want? It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah, it is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on there. Get the calls lined up. Phone lines are open, kids, which really just means StreamYard. Get on there if you're a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/ForceCenter. Please call in. We got some comments set aside there. I was trying to think of just in terms of, I'm glad you brought like horror and the meaning of horror and that themes behind it. I think that's a great use of it. Mine goes to the little moments that little Kenny was scared. I think your Tauntaun moment's right. I've talked about the Rancor, just kind of a monster in the deep kind of thing. But I do want to shout out, and as always, if you all call in and we talk about something or someone in the chat brings it up and someone else calls in with it, even if you have the same answer, we want to hear your take on it. We want to hear your experience with it. But I got to tell you, I get past the Tauntaun, and I get past the Minox. Someone else said that in here too.
Oh, that is another great jump scare. Yes.
Yeah. Brad Scanlon, the Tauntaun and the Minox jump scare, 100% right. I still kind of fall for it. But you get past all that, and I got to tell you, Yoda said, "You will be, you will be." Like, as a kid, I'm like, Kermit the Frog is angry, like scary monsters. And then, for what it is, the dark side cave, and what Luke brings into it. I mean, it's pretty scary too, especially if you're young and you don't fully understand it. And our friend of the show, Adam Witt from the Movie Guys, actually just randomly texted me this morning. He goes, what if Luke didn't bring anything in there? What vision would he have had? And I was like, I think it would have been a Force Ghost party. I think Obi-Wan, I think there would have been a cake. There would have been fun things. There would have been knowledge, but not what he brought in. So I think the cave itself and the sequence with Yoda is pretty scary.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Yeah, there's a lot in Empire Strikes Back that, it is the dark one. Even Han's carbonite slab slamming down for the first time is an audio visual jump scare, good jump cut scare. But yeah, the dark side cave, I mean, it is very literal, descending into your subconscious to face what is inside you that you are externalizing. So if Luke didn't bring his weapons, I think he would have watched Han and Leia being brutally murdered. And then when he reached out to do something about it, he wouldn't have hands, I think, or his teeth would have fallen out. I think would have had one of those dreams of like, I can't do anything about the problem in front of me, because that's his other fear.
It would have been like your horror short film, The Nightmare Adorable, where we all our worst fears come true.
Yes,
me suffocating, how Loveland can't talk. Like, I like that take on it. I like that take.
If anybody hasn't watched, that is The Nightmare Adorable is available on YouTube, and you can watch Ken do some good horror acting.
There you go. We got some super chats. We got a Will lined up to call in here, so highlighting some of these ones here. James Holmes checking in from the UK. Shout out to the Death Troopers. Somewhere Jennifer Landis smiling. Both old Legends novel by Joe Schreiber and the ones from Ahsoka more recently. Can't beat zombies, man. Yeah, Ahsoka season 1. We got some Stormtrooper zombies. Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Night Troopers. Yeah.
Serenity Jane, thank you. Very generous super chat. We really appreciate that. I'm blanking on something that scared me in Star Wars, but I do like the spookiness around the Night Sisters. Yeah, that's a great answer. I think it's a Hall of Fame answer. And, I know they were pulled from Star Wars Legends. And was it The Truce of Bakura or The Courtship of Princess Leia?
Courtship of Princess Leia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one's buried deep in my mind. I'll admit that. But I know it was pulled forward. It was pulled forward in such a wonderful way. And I remember being... Again, I'm here for everything in Star Wars. I always was, but I don't know. I was more like, where's the blasters? Let me get the clones fighting. And when the first Night Sisters kind of showed up, I was like, witches in Star Wars. It's perfection. And I'm so happy. That's our thumbnail today was Mother Talzin for a reason. It's wonderfully spooky and horror filled.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of there's many different ways that horror can manifest, but a lot of it is like the dark side. How are we going to make people feel what this is? And it is like other horror. It is both upsetting and kind of fun to dabble in the darkness. I think, the Sith are monsters.
They are indeed. But you know what? So are Ewoks. Will McLean points out the Ewok hunt on Battlefront 2, something we have championed as a Star Wars horror story. Absolutely. I've never seen something so effective in making the Ewoks just frightening. And that horn calling out in the darkness when you're a stormtrooper is terrifying.
Absolutely. Thank you everybody for these kind super chats. People coming in with lots of great thoughts here in the chat about different things that scared them. There's a lot. So great. I hadn't really thought about Star Wars as people's introduction to horror, but it makes sense because in general, they're considered, they're PG to PG-13. They're safe for kids. And then they, slowly drag you into the horror.
Yeah. Kicks for Cal. Thanks to Super Chat. Cal asked, does the execution of Order 66 count as horror? I think so. I absolutely think so. It's all around you. You can't escape it. Those you love have turned on you. Those you're loyal to have turned on you. I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of horror at play there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a total in particular with the end of the Clone Wars with Rex fighting it. It's great, sort of mind control horror. The idea of almost being possessed is kind of a possession horror of I am being made to do something that the deepest part of me doesn't really want to do.
Love that. These are all great answers. If you got more, we'll talk about your comments, your super chats. Maul and his spider legs and Morley and all that. That's kind of its own kind of twisted. That's some Twilight Zone horror for me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Will McLean saying that Darth Maul's whole look in general, especially for younger viewers, as for me in 1999, was spooky and horror filled. All right, let's take some calls here. As always, Patreon gets you in, patreon.com/ForceCenter. Link is up today, and it's a video if you can. So if your camera's up in the queue and we see it, you agree to our terms of service to put your wonderful face on our screen. But if you can't, just turn your camera off there in the StreamYard, and we'll just bring you on in an audio fashion. Our first call from the day, first call of the day, is from our buddy Will. Will, how are you doing, my friend? How are you? That's okay. Take the sip. Take your time. I should have warned you.
Had to be right then. You guys doing all right?
Cheers. Thanks for calling in, Will. Talk about what's your spookiest Star Wars moments here, man.
I'm a horror lightweight, and I've grown a taste has grown for it over the years. But I think Return of the Jedi was my first real foray into seeing that on screen. I couldn't think of anything earlier. So like the little hand that comes out, or the tentacle that comes out and grabs 3PO when he's being taken into the thing, was a moment of like, ooh. But I think the one is just that flash when Vader is throwing Palpatine into the pit, and you have the skeleton flash briefly.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember seeing it as a kid, watching it on my VHS, my Betamax, watching on Beta, and noticing that and wondering, like, did I see his skeleton? Like, in being kind of afraid of it, and then trying to go pause frame by frame through it until you get the frame shot where it's clear as day. And even in the old version of the film. Not the, I mean, I know they kind of reworked it a bit, but yeah, I remember being kind of freaked out yet drawn to that at the same time, and thinking that was scary. I mean, it's, Palpatine's got lightning shooting everywhere, and then Vader's skeleton. What is this? And so it's not like a super horror moment, but that was one of my first ones that I was like, ooh, that's scary stuff.
Yeah,
I'm the kid who, like, I watched Aliens at a friend's house and I couldn't sleep for like a week and a half.
As you shouldn't. As you shouldn't. Yes.
Understandably worried about all the cats. Yeah, the skeleton is such a great one that I wouldn't have thought of. I'm so used to it, but it's fun to think about it critically in terms of like, well, that's a great way to just demonstrate to very young viewers, tell the visual story that this is hurting Vader, because otherwise maybe you'd be like, he already wasn't in great shape.
He can take it.
He was lying down, wheezing, lost a hand. He's just breathing heavy. He's just like, Dad after he does a run. This is, But the skull, you're like, oh damn. I know those signs from, like, the power station. That means you're being electrocuted when you see the skull.
Yeah. Indeed. We're all kind of in the same, general age range there. I took to the playground to be freaked out by that and Luke's lightning teeth. That one shot of all his teeth.
Yes.
Just grade A spooky right there.
That was another prominent freeze frame. I think the lightning went in his mouth. Did it? It did. It went in there.
Come on.
I have an alternate selection, if you'll permit me, that isn't Star Wars, but it's tangentially connected. Is my wife was on TikTok and was looking at some various videos of people going off about Christopher Lee's performance as Dracula in the Hammer films, and she's like, I haven't seen. She's a big Dracula fan, but she's like, I don't remember seeing them in a long time, if ever. And so, prepare for geriatric generation admission, but she recently had a hip replacement, so she was laid up, and we're like, well, let's pick one a night. They're almost like episodes. They're only an hour and a half, and so we started at the beginning and went through all the Hammer horror flicks. And as they started, I'm like, well, it's Dooku, let's go. But then I'd forgotten Peter Cushing is in it, so I'm like, I'm getting Tarkin versus Dooku. This is fantastic. And then I'm thinking, does Alec Guinness show up in any of these? Because if he does, it'd be just amazing. And so watching those in sequence was a lot of fun. But you couldn't ever shake it because Cushing, you just can't not see it when he's doing his stuff. And so we had the best time doing that. But
that's great.
Watching the pre-Dooku was fantastic, and a lot of very entertaining. Joseph, you reminded me when you're mentioning Dracula about doing that. But the number of ways he comes back is it's exceptional.
It's usually like, I've watched them all over the last couple of years and out of order because they're kind of hard to track down sometimes, especially on disc. But yeah, it is. It makes Palpatine coming back look extremely logical and flowing, because it's like, a tourist was selling his cape and it fell in a vat of this, and then somebody spit on this, and then a hippie did a ceremony, and like they're all
drooling bat. Is a good one. And then let's watch the end of the old movie as the guy who falls out of the carriage stumbles onto that scene and then collects his blood, and then and he's back again. Top shelf stuff.
It's so good. But I will, for anybody who is kind of like, hey, I'd like to see more of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, I would recommend particularly that first one. I think that first one is fantastic. And I was amazed the first time I watched it of like, I have been trained since I was 3 years old to hate Peter Cushing and fear him. And he is like, you want to like call up your nice uncle for advice and help with vampires. It reminds you quickly what a great actor he is, that he can immediately sort of, for me, remove years of training that he's a bad guy and play the good guy in these films.
For sure.
That's great. I'm gonna sit down and watch this one of these days. If I'd watched him earlier, I would not have been at my work break room going, and his name was Dooku. What's going on? George ruined everything. Will, thanks for calling in. I will say this. Zibaglione says, the caller does not look old enough for Betamax. That's the scary truth is, we all look wonderful and young, but we old.
Just meditate, caller. Meditate and try and breathe it out, and you prolong your life a little bit.
Perfect. Thanks, Will, for calling in today, buddy.
Right. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, I'm living that world. We are that old. We are. Some super chats came in here, and then we got a call from Ihanja and Maddie checking in. Alan Smithy, one of the greatest directors of all time. Love the Geonosian zombie hive mind with the Queen in the Clone Wars, the zombie worm going up Barris's nose. Also the Zilla Beast, the classic movie monster like Godzilla. Zilla and Coruscant had a body count. Yeah, all big wins here. Things I definitely appreciated a whole lot more on the Clone Wars Report rewatch. But Joseph, those two things are very close to your heart, I know.
Yeah, no, I love how much the Zilla Beast just slots right into this story of the Clone Wars with the way it's stirred by weapons testing and Palpatine machinations, but it is just like, yeah, let's do a kaiju movie, let's do a King Kong movie in Star Wars, and so good. And the body count is true, and gobbles.
It does.
And in the Geonosian brainworm episodes, those were some of the first when I did my Clone Wars rewatch of like, why didn't anybody tell me how good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's got that great Kenobi, like, hey, I just want to see what part of the body it goes in. I'm just curious. Hold off,
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's amazing. Detective McCarsell, who says he can't call in a day because he's on a 3-hour drive. That's good. 10 and 2. Be safe, Michael. Be safe. Strangers, going to Accolade. The Strangers Dracula interest is an exceptional horror moment. It is indeed. Very popular. Very good moment there.
Yeah, I also think like one of the great tricks of horror is the audience will be as scared of the monster as the characters are, and that like, oh my God, has my master been here? Does my master know what I'm up to? There's such fear and anxiety built up about his arrival, and I think that really sells the great visual Dracula moment.
So good. Svetnik, Ethan, he's saying, I watched, where did that go? I watched Mando season 2 with my 7-year-old. He was freaked out a bit by the Dark Troopers. Yeah. A little scared Kenny would have been freaked out by that if I was 7 watching Mando. Absolutely.
Yeah, big stomping, angry robot. Yeah.
And then taking Grogu, right? That would have been like, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister screaming out in the theater when Yoda died in Return of the Jedi. Yoda-yo, Yoda-yo. I would have done that with Baby Yoda if he got taken in front of me at 7. All right, we got a call here from Hadja. We always struggle to have fun saying the name, but he gets to write it, correct us here live on the air. Look at that. Look at them chops, my friend. How are you?
Hello there. How are you?
Good to have you here.
Just to warn you, my Great Dane Magnus is sitting right next to me, so he may bark periodically, and if you hear a loud belch like the frog outside Jabba's palace, it's him, not me.
Magnus the Great Dane, I want to know even more about. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes. It's nice to be here, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you. How off are we? Ihajka.
You're practically there.
Ihajka.
I
had too much flair.
I had the battle droids say Roger, Roger. Hodger.
Love it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, good to have you here. What are your favorite horror moments? We appreciate you calling in to share.
Well, there's 3 that are kind of sprung to mind when you're just thinking initially. The first one was when I was 5 in '77, and so seeing Star Wars as it was back then, the Dianoga in the tractor.
Yeah.
It's that line from Luke, there's something alive in here. and then it kind of, you're kind of like squiggling about and stuff, and it's just like, ooh. Yeah, it put me off swimming for about 2 weeks.
I do not like, I don't know what they do up there in Minnesota, Joseph, but I do not like bodies of water that I cannot see the bottom of. And there's a lot of lakes in my hometown, and we used to go to the lake a lot with the church groups in the summer. And I think the Dianoga, and I accidentally saw one of those creep show things where like a thing came out of the water. No river water, no lake water for me because of Dianoga.
My first swim was in a lake, and there were creepy crawlies coming past me, and it's like, no, there's too much like Dianoga. Take me out of here.
Yeah. I live in Scotland, and there's lots of lochs here, and obviously Loch Ness with the ultimate Dianoga.
Yep, we're gonna find it. We're gonna find it one day. All right, so that's one of your moments. What other moments jumping at you?
These 2 are from Attack of the Clones. The first one is the brainworms. With Ahsoka, and I can't remember the other character that she's with, but they get infected with the brainworms, and it's just really creepy, and just the effects they use, and just how warped they went. I just thought that was a really nice little spooky moment that kind of like stuck a little bit.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other, and then the other one is Mother Talzin, her voice. The effects they use on her voice, I so want to see that in live action, and preferably directed by like Sam Raimi or someone, you know. And you know, because there's the whole debate about should we have an R-rated horror Star Wars, but I would be up for something like really dark and witchy and ethereal, and just take you down to the depths, you know. So as younger kids get older, Star Wars fans, they've got something as adults to, you know, digest as well, you know.
Yeah, I think I could do a PG-13 Star Wars horror film. Yeah, Joseph can direct that. That'd be good.
I think there's plenty of stuff like I've seen on television that's like, that's actually much scarier than R-rated movies I've seen, because, you know, you need to, when you're doing ratings, it's like, okay, how many times did you say the F word? How much blood did we see? Was that a liver? All right, then you get an R. But I mean, the psychological creepy can be like, we could do a PG-13 Star Wars that would just scare the bleep out of some kids.
Completely. And it's like just exploring sort of like the, you know, the senses of either, you know, a light side or a dark side user, and just really going creatively with the visuals of the senses being perceived and stuff, you know, and get really spooky with it. I really want that sound. So,
absolutely.
and but I think Darth Maul, Shadow Lord's going to scratch that itch a little bit in the meantime.
Ooh, yeah.
For sure.
Maybe some horror vibes in there. No, all great choices, all spooky things, but nothing more spooky than a belching Great Dane named Magnus. That might intimidate a few people. There we go.
Indeed. Well, if I'm lucky enough to catch it on camera, I'll share it on the old Discord. People.
Oh, please. Yeah, we do. We have the ForceCenter Pets section in there, right? That's in there. So y'all, we got to start posting more dogs in there. I think we still have it in there. Well, I Hadja.
I Hadja, yes. Yeah. And Darth Belchers.
Yes.
Yeah.
We appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much. Right. And it's great to talk to you guys. Take it easy.
All right. Wonderful. Great chops. That's
Hadja has inspired a question. If Mother Talzin was done in live action, so we of course need the strange upward tendrils of her dress gown cape thing to flutter about. Should they be CGI, or should there be a puppeteer physically making them dance around every time she's on screen?
Let's do that. Let's do, you know, Sam Raimi's a great choice for this, though I know I was listening to our friends Dorita and April over at the Horror Hose, and they're live later today. They didn't like a lot of the CGI. There's a little reliance on too much CGI in this last Raimi film. So, all right, I get it. This is a Guillermo del Toro thing, right? Make that witch, that Night Sister coven practical.
Yes, he would want to make the Mother Talzin's threads practical. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. All right. Any other? We got another call here from Maddie. General Cameroni, another good horror element in the sequels is both The Force Awakens, Kylo freezes Poe and Rey. I agree with that. And on The Last Jedi, when Snoke drags Rey around, the horror being unable to move as you see awful things happen around you. I agree with that. Little bleeps of Star Wars sci-fi horror.
Absolutely. Lots of lack of control body horror.
I agree with props with Kyle. The beginning of Declan's the assassin caterpillars attacking Padme. The Cahoon. Why do I always forget that one? I would lose that every time in the Schmodown if that came up. Yeah. As a kid too, but yeah. Poison bugs. This is why I want to get to Australia one of these days, but I'm going to stay in my hotel. There's too many big poison bugs out there. Freak me out. So
the big poison bugs are scary, and that Anakin has that level of precision in cutting them off of Padme's body in bed.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, it's like she's going to come up with just a little tiny scar. Like, nope.
Yeah. Nope. All right, our next call coming in. If you want to call in, the phone lines are open after this. Share your favorite horror moments. Patreon.com/ForceCenter. Get in here today. Amaranth says, I love hearing everyone's accents. I would not have guessed this one, speaking of Ihaja. But we got another accent here. Check it in from the heart of the UK. Is our good buddy Matty Gunner. Matty, how you doing?
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, my friend. We're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah. Good.
All right, you're a scary guy. What scares you?
Not much, but the first one, I just want to address the Guillermo del Toro Night Sister Mother Townsend movie. James Holmes in the chat asked a really good question: who would play Mother Townsend? If you permit me, I would just like to offer up Angelica Houston for the role, maybe.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing.
I can see that.
Yeah.
As for what scares me about Star Wars the most, did you guys ever watch the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars?
Sure did.
So, Joseph, you and I talked the other day about Resident Evil and how like, I grew up playing those video games. I hate jump scares more than anything. A jump scare will get me every time. The episode of the original Clone Wars show, the anime, the one where we first see Grievous and he's on the planet with Mace Windu and all the other Jedi, this suspense of Grievous in that episode, and he's like on top of the ship, but you don't know where exactly he is. His arm comes crashing through the thing, and I think he kills Adi Galea in that episode.
So yeah.
Spoilers for an episode that aired in 2003, 2004. If you haven't watched it now, get over it. Yeah,
it's not a pub, Matty. No one's trying to fight you in a pub. Hold on.
Everyone's always trying to fight me, Ken.
Matty could be in a pub right now, and people off to the side. No, I that's a great poll. I even forgot how tense that is. It's really well done, and it is very much shot like a horror film. Of you don't know where he is, you don't know where he's coming from, and that's another great example of where your heroes hype you up and tell you how afraid you should be of the bad guy, because this many Jedi are like sweating. I don't know if it is literal, but in my mind, like Ki-Adi-Mundi's got like massive sweat on his huge conical head, and like, if Ki-Adi-Mundi's sweating, then this guy's
There's a bit where like Ki-Adi-Mundi and I think it's like two others are like just slowly backing up, and you just see the dark behind him, and then Grievous just comes out of the shadows. And like being a kid at the time, like this is the same guy who made Samurai Jack, which like is also scared the crap out of me. Aku, the villain in Samurai Jack, scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But you like just like these Jedi, you like when you're a kid at the time, you think, oh, all these Jedi, they can take this guy for sure, no problem. No.
And David Mackay reminds us one of the Padawans is freaking out. Yeah.
I would be that Padawan. I would 100% be that Padawan.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. Oh, speaking of, this is good. Sorry, ADD kicking it. Jeannie Fantahini, James Thompson, Rebecca Ferguson as Mother Townsend. It's a great choice.
Day one. Rebecca Ferguson in anything. I'm there day one.
I agree.
Maybe Isabella Rossellini as Mother Townsend.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. I've got one there. What else, Maddie? What else scares you?
Other than the hangover that I experienced after Celebration Anaheim at Mos Eisley, that kind of scared me a little bit.
Oh, that's true. That counts.
I think I talked about it a little bit last time I called in, but like when you first see Maul for the first time, like I grew up being scared of Kiss. Like Gene Simmons scared me.
Okay. Band or kissing? Okay, good. Okay. Both are scary. Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, both. Well, I mean, even now, but yeah, just the doors opening, and then he hasn't got the hood up like he does in the majority of the film, so you can't like really see all the horns and the tattoos and everything. Yeah. Now I look at him like, oh man, this is the coolest character ever.
Yeah,
but that no, I couldn't see. I saw it kind of mess.
Well, just because you were just so excited. You're talking about at the beginning of the fight towards the end of the film, but not when he first shows up with and my apprentice, Darth Maul. And he just shows up, hey, what's up?
With the pro wrestling pose. You guys are the wrestling fans, but I always think of that as like he has been introduced.
You know,
comes in with the folded arms.
He does. You know what he looks like? He looks like every reality show for like 2005 to 2017 in which some family hunted ducks or picked steel. They're just like they all do the like. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say it's like Bret Michaels in Rock of Love.
Same thing. I'm sure he did that too at some point. And yes, I did watch at least one of seasons of Rock of Love.
Great show. A lot of people talk about Flavor of Love. They don't give the credit that Rock of Love deserves.
That's true. That's true. You know, you're right, Maddie. You're right. My 2008 self agrees with you. Great answers, Maddie. We appreciate that. And how we talked to you before. You're excited for Mall Shadow Lord. You excited to get a little spooked out by that show? You think some horror is going to show up there?
I hope so. I am going in completely blind for Mall Shadow Lord for obvious reasons. My favorite character. I ran a little test with the Acolyte, and it worked. Mm-hmm. I love that show. So I'm kind of treating this with the same thing. But I do think there are going to be moments where we let the horror shine, like come through, and we see like more at his. I think it's going to be a different kind of horror, though. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, Big Maul's scary. I think it's going to be more of the, we're seeing Maul, this evil character, be put into a position where he's the one on the run. He's the one running scared at this point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm also curious to see if we'll see it from the person he wants to be a Padawan perspective of like. I was thinking about. There's been talking like how a lot of the dark side aesthetic is horror to us, the audience, but like somebody being seduced by the dark side gets pitched like anger, and then there's like, by the way, a whole aesthetic comes with it. I hope you like black and red and sharp things.
I do.
And, like it's such an aesthetic. I love the idea of somebody being like, I'm down with the anger, but can I wear orange? Like no. No.
Can I wear baby blue? It's just such a nicer color. It comes off the.
Can I be kind of like a preppy goth Sith? No, full goth Sith, and that's it.
Awesome. Maddie, yeah. What's that? Sorry, I cut you off.
We don't do emo Sith here. You got to go full on goth.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Mm-hmm. No emo Sith. Well, good luck on keeping yourself away from any Mall Shadow Lord material before it comes out. That's pretty hard to do, but there's not a ton of marketing out there right now for it. So if you can. All right. Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate you, buddy.
When it's going to get to like, yeah, guys.
Oh, you can finish your sentence. I didn't set him out. He left. He had to go fight someone in a pub. I had you saying if a space werewolf bit a Wookiee, a werewookie. Thank you for the super chat to put that horror into our brains. Mm-hmm. Thank you. We're here for about 20 more minutes. So calls, phone lines are open. If you want to get in here, they're wide open. This is, sometimes the DJ's got to beg for you to call in to win those tickets to the Mid-State Fair to see Journey, but a cover band of Journey. But get in here if you want, folks. We got some comments, though, to go through if there's anything you see, sir.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments. This one comes from Osvetnik, who has been calling in a lot. It says, I'm traveling and not as brave as the detective in terms of calling from the car in transit. Osvetnik says, the KX droids in Andor coming out from the Imperial building on Gorman and putting down the Gormans was scary as hell. I winced just thinking about it. Yeah, that was a little less like gothic, spooky horror and just straight up like
political horror.
yeah, real life horror. Yeah, I mean it is fancy, but yeah, I mean they are like imposing. They do look like weird. Honestly, they look like the 12-foot skeletons from Home Depot just decided to start killing people.
They do.
Yeah,
same vibe. Has anyone done that? Has anyone turned the Home Depot skeletons into a KX series droid?
You could totally do it.
There you go.
Yeah. There
you go. I put this one aside too. Gaz Nottingham said the Sarlacc made me cautious of beaches as a kid. Yeah, I can see that because I grew up near Pismo Beach and we wouldn't go in the ocean as much. But it was also because it was like 50-degree cold water. But we'd play in the sand dunes, and I'd bring my Star Wars action figures to play in the sand dunes. And there was always that thing of you crest the hill. You're like 7 years old, and you crest the big sand dune. There could be a Sarlacc down there. A Pitacor coon could be right there in front of you. So I'm with Gaz on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tentacles reaching out to grab you.
And just the unknown, like. And now, we know even some, I think Force Unleashed, the first video game, kind of was the first time that I spent in a Sarlacc. And, you see there's cross sections and, of course, Book of Boba Fett. But, like, as a kid, like, I don't know what was going on down there. I was digesting for 1,000 years about it. So that was its own kind of terror. Just the thought of being launched into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they put across the fear quite well.
They did. There you go. Let's see, we got another call for the Geonosian zombie noseworms episode. Clone Wars quite full on, but undercut by Kenobi being cool and curious. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good. We need that. We need in a horror sequence like that. You need someone you can kind of hold on to.
Yes, and the queen herself is spooky.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree with that. Rolling down the list here while we wait for anyone else who wants to call in. Go ahead and call on in. Don't be shy. Share what scares you in Star Wars. We got Sirando Drill. I'm just putting a bunch of letters and numbers together. The Ice Spider chase in Mando Season 2. Oh my gosh, the claustrophobic nature when they get trapped at the Razor Crest is so easy. That is a great sequence. Great horror episode sequence, and my former partner and I watching it at that time. She was terrified of spiders. That she had to go, like she couldn't watch it. It was so terrifying. Well done. Good answer.
I love they made a vintage 3 3/4 size action figure set of Mando and Grogu and spiders, and they made a Black Series, and I got them both. Partially because they both have it's the same action figures with the little snow on them, but with just enough of the spiders. It's that I think the horror of that works so well, obviously, if you're frightened of spiders, but it keeps feeling like that thing in life where well, this is kind of a problem, but I can handle it. And nope. It's that same sort of feeling of I can shovel this water out. Nope. It just keeps coming. Just keeps coming.
Here we go. Unless you have the ability to run away like a frog, you're not getting out of there, baby.
That's so great. Ever got it when Frog Lady just hauls ass?
It's gonna be time for a rewatch soon here. David McKay says the real horror of the episode was Grogu eating Frog Lady's eggs. Yes, and the internet would agree. We talked about the Dianoga. Well, I had you called in, but yeah, Dianoga there. And I take the Dianoga as we knew him, not the Force-sensitive possible Jedi that was speaking to Luke. It was a good story, though.
Yep.
There you go. Any other ones jumping out to you? We got a lot of great comments here today.
Absolutely. This is a good one from James Home. The droid being tortured in Jabba's palace was horrific, come to think of it. That is a really interesting one. There's so much going on in Return of the Jedi in that whole opening first act of Jabba's palace that really dances on comedy and tragedy and horror. And how should you feel about it, kids? Because it's a little jokey, right? The no. It's like a comedy voice, but then what's happening is actually quite awful after you're being asked to always sympathize and empathize with R2 and 3PO, and you're in fact asking to be terrified for them then. So it isn't, a long step to extend that same empathy to that poor little droid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm right there with you. This is, we talked about in the past of having my heartstrings tugged upon when the other astromech droids in Phantom Menace get blown away into space and in the sequence which R2 is introduced and saves the day. In my mind, though, that's R2, man. I even get even the mouse droid getting scared and running away from Chewie. These droids have feelings. And I'm with James in the UK. That moment as a kid, I think I justified it being okay because, I don't know if the hot iron actually touches his feet. I think there's some. So as a kid, I was like, "Oh, it's okay. He's not really burning. He's just afraid of burning."
Yeah, made me as a kid think a lot about how do their sensations work? Because all the other general trauma that we hear about from R2 and 3PO is being electrocuted. It's okay,
yeah,
your joints getting stiff, but that was just oh, wait a minute. A droid can't touch a hot stove?
That's why you'd want a droid, right?
Yeah, why did you put heat sensitivity?
Yeah. And I had you talking about R4 losing his head in Revenge of the Sith. Yes, I absolutely think that's terrifying. Again, I'm not casting any aspersions on your boy Obi-Wan there, Joseph, but he sometimes has a weird relationship with his droids. All right, I don't know. Sometimes I can't figure them out.
Feel like that's about as close as he got,
to being connected.
Like, ooh, sorry about that.
Which I think, side note, I think tracks with him in New Hope going, I don't seem to recall owning a droid, and R2 being like, dude,
like
R4.
Okay. I know, R2 knows, like, oh, you're being pedantic about the word owned. God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the R4 and the buzz droids and everything. Yeah, that's absolutely a good little slice of Star Wars horror.
Yeah. And it is another sort of droids as like insects, they're little scuttling, horrible creatures. Indeed,
I agree with that. And in that frame, Dennis Gill saying General Grievous is scary and his voice gives off vampire vibes. Yeah, I know, our generation took too much time making fun of his cough, not realizing what the cough meant. I still think that is a great design of just its own kind of horror gothic droid.
And I think the fact, it's the cough, but also like you can see like there's some little wizened something underneath this hulking beast. I think it does go to a little bit of that Dracula Frankenstein divide of like he's kind of a metal made monster, but you can see some horrible lurking unnatural thing under there.
Natural,
Yeah.
He's got an organ sack just with all his organs in a sack. Great design.
Dennis Gill says Grievous when he spider walks.
Yes,
which sounds like the great the Star Trek episode where they talk in the language of references. Shanagra when the walls fell. Grievous when he spider walks.
What is this one here? Yeah, I think this is great. Buzz Lightskin says that creepy one-eyed robot thing that tried to juice Mando from season 3. Yes, very War of the Worlds. A lot of stuff going on in that sequence.
Yeah, I think one of the other creepy things about it was sort of payoff on. There's a lot of genre storytelling that will be sort of like, we don't know what's down there. Even in Phantom Menace, which I like, it's like the planet core, so it feels kind of mysterious of what's in there, and like, it's big fish. Yeah. But in Mando, they kind of put it across of like, who knows what all is down there, and then that we don't quite know what that thing is.
Yes.
And I think that's part of what makes it scary is a big Lovecraft fan, and his whole thing is the cosmic horror, where part of what's terrifying about anything you encounter is it doesn't make sense and you can't understand it. Unlike big fish, aware of what those are. There's always a bigger one. And I think that's part of what's so successful about that weirdo of like, what is it? What's it doing with Mando's juices?
Love that. I'm excited for that. Mando rewatch is coming. Soon. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gotta.
We're getting there.
They're finally kicking up the attention. Making noise this week.
Well, yeah, we'll be talking about some of the toys and Galactic Racer and all that stuff. News show coming Monday. Brady saying, shout out to the OG scary moment when Obi-Wan makes that scream in A New Hope. Question, which version do you prefer, the original or the special edition? Oh, there's a special edition debate that we don't have as much. Both are pretty effective. I think I like the bigger, bolder, newer sound, but there's something about the classic that just, because of what Brady's saying, it was kind of spooky.
I have to rewatch, but I think it is one of these special edition things that doesn't work for me as well, because I think it accidentally tips into the comic, like not into the comic book, into being more funny than it's intended. Because the first one kind of sounds like, I can believe that a wizard kind of threw their voice and it echoed through the hills, and the other one is like, whoa.
What's going on there?
Did you grow an extra larynx? How did you make that sound, Obi-Wan?
That's amazing. Yeah. No, let's go. I have to go do a compare. Alan Smithy, this one's in The Death of Yaddle. That whole episode in Tales of the Jedi was pure horror. What a great episode! It really was a great episode. Great episode indeed. I don't know if we're going to get a Tales of this year. I hope we do. I think they do great work there, those little shorts there. A few more minutes here, so if you want to call in, the phone line's still open there, but we're taking your comments, talking about your favorite Star Wars spooky moments, horror moments, anything that scared you then, now, and forever. We got Harrison Gibson, Vader at the end of the first Jedi game when he drops down behind Cal and Trilla. Yeah, he is truly the monster there.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. And it's also like, oh, wait, this is my problem. I can't just watch. This is gonna be my problem.
I gotta press the buttons.
I'm gonna mash some buttons. Yeah. Really, really scary. You know, a lot of people have talked about it. I'm not gonna remember the details because I haven't played it in ages. But in Shadows of the Empire, there's the trash planet scene where IG-88 comes at you from out of nowhere. And for like a lot of people, and myself included, that was one of our very first 3D games. So that's in that opening of space where it could be coming at you from all sorts of different angles, which, you know, is pretty standard now. But yeah, it's scary back in the day.
I agree. Maddie says he spent the best part of an hour trying to fight him there. Yeah, still Bill's right. IG units are pretty terrifying unless they're reprogrammed as nursing droids. Then they're great. A couple more comments that we got side here. Jeannie from Tahiti, speaking of body horror, Echo, when he flops out of the tube, connected to all the tubes. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is total dark science, Frankenstein body horror stuff.
Is indeed. We've got Stillville saying, favorite moment of horror, cutting open of the Tauntaun. Just so squishy and gross. Yeah, it's that's the little gross out horror that could get me.
It's so well done. It's just one shot, but it is like, yeah. I'm gonna say all the different foodstuffs it's reminded me of over the years. I have to be careful what I eat during Empire Strikes Back.
Indeed. And then we got the hallway scene with K2SO in Andor. I agree with that. And not for nothing, we've talked about it a lot over the years, but the Rogue One hallway scene with Vader is him as a monster, a horror monster and a villain.
I think so. I think that's his Michael Myers scene where, you know, you find it fascinating, but it's also awful and sad, but it is just the March of Cleveland.
Yeah, and I've always talked about that one shot that's like kind of after that main sequence, right before the doors close, and it's just the camera kind of on the ground looking up at him. And there's like, because there's more light, it's almost like it's more real to me. It's a beautiful sequence and effective for a reason. We all like it. And it's okay to, not necessarily, root for Vader or like him, but not learn from Vader. Maybe that's what we've got to do. Mr. LD Speeds, Vader with his mask off terrified me as a kid. Yeah, I think I was more curious at that point. But I remember, especially on replay on the VHS tapes at home, just that a big like cut up there and the scar and that was cool.
Yeah, I remember being, and I don't know which, if he means Return of the Jedi or just seeing the back of his head and Piet being like, whoops. Yeah. Ooh, I saw a head I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah,
because that's creepy. I'm like, oh, what's going on under there? I don't think I was ever creeped out by seeing his face in Return of the Jedi, but I remember in the storybook, I think there's a turn of phrase of like that he had a surprisingly kind face, and that I think always softened it for me because I feel like that's like, oh, well, you expected him to be much more. I mean, he's messed up. Don't get me wrong, but he's
well. Sebastian Shaw's got he's got the eyebrows of a nice grandfather.
He does.
There's some peace there.
It's so intentionally cast that he does like, is he going to offer Luke a Werther's original? It's so grandfatherly. Yes. Mr. LD Speed says Return of the Jedi is what he was saying, but both mask off moments for Vader are scary.
Love that. Recovery Hacker saying, hey, back in 1983, there were people in full Vader cosplay at the opening of Return of the Jedi. It was only 6, and it scared the daylights out of me. Yeah, I could see that. A big monster in a cape.
Yeah. I got it. I think I asked my dad about it recently, but when I saw A New Hope the first time, there was an R2-D2 at the premiere, and I was freaked out because I thought Vader would be with him.
Oh.
And I can relate to that because I was just terrified of the possibility of Vader showing up.
big, he's bulky, he's scary. Amaranth saying, sharing this truth here in her life. Everybody told me I didn't look as bad as they expected after my brain surgery. I think they expected a Vader look. There you go. Hey, it could have been Hayden Vader later on, Return of the Jedi Vader.
One hopes that surgeons are more precise than Obi-Wan flying at you with his lightsaber out.
Great answers all the way through, but I with no more calls coming in, I think that's about the end of our little Friday the 13th celebration of the spooky things. It's ours, but I do believe we're gonna have a lot more added very soon here, both with Mandalorian and Grogu. I think there's always, as we've discussed, always an opportunity for some fun. Genre mashups with what they do there, and then Sith Shadow Lord or Maul Shadow Lord. I think that's going to be very creepy.
I think so. It's got the whole noir vibe, but I think especially if Maul is trying to sell himself to people as, look, my perspective works. I'll have tea with you. I'm just fighting stormtroopers. Yeah. There's going to be some moments where the mask drops. People are like, what did you just do? He snarls and you see those teeth and you're like, all right. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Right. One other one that I wanted to share here, Ken, because I have a question about it.
Please do.
From Detective McCarcel. It says the Anakin Vader rebuilding surgery is pure body horror. Yep. And the terror on Anakin's face when he realizes he's going to be caged, contained, and then explicitly Frankenstein with the no. We know that the weather on Coruscant can be controlled and programmed.
Right.
So when Palpatine's flying in to bring Anakin, Darth Vader to the surgery, is he like, and turn on the lightning storm?
I think so.
Make it rain.
Yeah. I think Palpatine is, a fan of theatrics. I think that's why he brings Anakin to, the play in Revenge of the Sith. Squid Lake. I think this is the perfect setting for this. I think he does. I even think he was like, I'm going to fight them in my office so that one of us will take this window out and just create a little thing.
Yeah. More symbolic that way. Yeah.
I agree.
Make it rain.
I was just bringing that up. Nope, that was what I was bringing up.
Did I pre-order any Mando merch today? I'm going to see if some is still available. I want that. I know, Ken, they're doing exactly what I thought they would do. They're putting out a pretty much unaltered Mando and Grogu action figure. But this one says the Mandalorian and Grogu on it. It's got some different accessories, which is one of the little things that I'm most excited about. Well, we'll save it for our new show. But there's an accessory that I'm very excited about.
Got to get them accessories. That's how they get you. That's hey, look. Hey, do it. I say do it. Do it.
All right. I will.
All right, that is it. We're out of here. Thank you for watching live. If you're watching later, let us know. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe on YouTube. You can hype the video as well, especially in the first 5 days of release. I think that's when YouTube really likes you doing that. Podcast, don't forget, on Sundays. Franny doesn't forget. On Sundays, the Great Dane didn't bark, but the Chihuahua did today. Don't forget, on Sundays, we re-release Databag Brawl. So listen over there to the podcast there as well. And support us at patreon.com/ForceCenter. Joseph, where can they find you and your horror film?
Yes, you can find me on all the social media, but mostly Blue Sky, at Joseph Scrimshaw. You can go to my website, josephscrimshaw.com, for news on the horror film Dead Media. We will be having our festival, our first festival appearance in Durham, North Carolina at the end of February. At a festival called Nevermore Film Festival. So if you're in the area, please do check it out.
Check it out, indeed. Follow me at Cat Knapsack. If you're local, I'm on this Valentine's show tomorrow night. But Sunday at Flappers, 5 p.m. in the Yoo-Hoo Room, I'm on a Star Trek-themed comedy night. And they're bringing me in as the Star Wars ringer. So let's see how this goes. It'll be fun. Franny and I are going to head there. That is it for now. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter. Say goodbye, Franny. Say goodbye.